straight to Nyeri County, where our Sharon Momanyi has been holding fort there for us, of course, bringing us the latest on the beatification of Sister Irene Stefani that's slated to take place tomorrow. Sharon, I'm sure it was such a jam-packed, busy day down there. Take us through what happened and what the mood is like there.
Yes, indeed, Betty. It was a very busy day today. Hundreds of pilgrims made their way and arrived here in Nyeri ahead of the big ceremony taking place tomorrow. And this night, we are at the Dedan Kimathi University grounds where the ceremony will be taking place. And final touches are taking place on the grounds right now. There's a big dais behind me where the guests will be seated tomorrow. Several tents that will hold hundreds and hundreds of the faithful who are coming to witness this big event tomorrow. But in the lineup of this, there was also a vigil that took place at the Gikondi church in Mukurweini just ahead of the ceremony tomorrow. And before I bring you a report that I put together earlier detailing these events that took place in the day, there are many people who are still wondering what beatification is all about and who Sister Irene is. And later on, I will be speaking to Father Charles Kinywa, who will be getting us to understand more about this. But before we get to that, let's look at this report that I put together earlier. In a fleet of buses, they arrived. The family of Sister Irene Stefani Nyeri arrived in Nyeri today for the ceremony that will see their very own exalted.
Ci sentiamo molto emozionati, non pensavamo.
The emotion is so high for what she did. For them is taking them back, and they are very happy for accommodation, the welcoming you have offered here, the way they feel it.
The four family members were in the company of Consolata Sisters, a missionary institute with whom Sister Irene worked. The priest in charge of the Anfo parish in Italy, where Sister Irene worshipped before coming to Kenya, is also part of the pilgrimage.
Anche per l'importanza che ha, noi siamo disposti.
Okay, the event is very big. For them, really they are ready to offer Sister Irene for the whole church, for whatever she is, up to this point.
Perché diventa beata.
And in Gikondi, the village where Sister Irene served between 1915 to 1930, a special mass is taking place as part of the beatification ceremony. Hundreds are thronging the Gikondi Catholic Church here in Gikondi, Mukurweini, for the vigil mass taking place in this church tonight. The numbers, an indication that the life of Sister Irene Stefani was indeed celebrated by many. And indeed, her life is still being celebrated. Brother David, coming all the way from Philippines, says the work of Sister Irene motivates him when the work of ministry and service gets tough.
For me personally, it means strengthening my missionary call to serve the people of God. And for me, it's also a source of inspiration to continue, because sometimes you feel homesick because you're away from your home, from your family. So I get strength from missionaries like Sister Irene.
So I came from the Philippines, and we are now assigned in Tanzania, particularly in Shinyanga. And we are here just to attend the beatification of Sister Irene. You know, in the Catholic Church, beatification is very, very great occasion. And mostly, beatification is done only in the Vatican. But now, since they're outside the Vatican, we came here to celebrate and pray.
Security is tight in Nyeri town and in the various venues where the historic event will be taking place. GSU officers have been deployed at the Mathari Central Chapel, where Sister Irene's relics have been preserved. Many are still thronging the chapel to take pictures of the celebrated sister and to make prayer requests that she may intercede for them, as in the Catholic faith.
Everybody should feel very, very comfortable when they are in Nyeri County, especially during this event. And also, we are very well prepared, whereby people will move very smoothly. The national government, through the coordination of the county commissioner's office, is made the arrangements as far as how the traffic will flow.
Final preparations are taking place at the Dedan Kimathi University grounds, where the beatification ceremony will take place tomorrow. Other than top Catholic leaders who will officiate the event, President Uhuru Kenyatta and other top officials are expected at the event. So as you can see, Betty, a very eventful day there, one that saw big number of the pilgrims arrive here in Nyeri ahead of the event that is taking place tomorrow. But one thing we cannot overlook is that not everybody understands what this famous word beatification means, and who is this Irene that we have been hearing about a lot for the last month. And to explain this more to us, I'm joined now by Father Charles Kenywa. Karibu sana, Father, to explain this to us. So who is Irene? Because this is a name that suddenly Kenyans are very familiar with.
Irene is Sister Stephanie Irene is a Consolata missionary sister. She was born in Turin in 1891 and she died in the year 1930. She worked in almost all her life. She worked in Kenya. And for 10 years she was in Gekodi because she reported there in 1920. And then she died there in 1830 and then be buried here.
And then, so what makes, for many people, and of course we cannot demystify the tenets of a religion in a few minutes, but for many people they don't understand what makes a person, a human being, a saint. And maybe some people can be thinking that my neighbor feeds children and maybe can also be called a saint. So in what events or what special occasions is somebody in the Catholic faith made on the process of becoming a saint?
There are two things, especially that stands out, and they are part of Sister Irene's life. One is not being indifferent to people's problems. That is one. And number two, remaining and remaining in constant communion with God. She was, and here we put the distinction between religiosity and spirituality. Religiosity, that we do things for people to see. Religiosity is the connection between me as a Christian and my God. This, she said all the time. When she was taking her vows, there's something that she wrote.
And Father, even before you explain, those are big words, religiosity and spirituality. Who determines that this, her way of life was more spiritual than religious?
Okay. The witness of the people. In fact, the people that... I'm assuming a person called person A, for example, lives in a certain place and time and dies. Then the people who witnesses that are the first people to give witness. And coming from a certain religious community, then that religious community makes a request to the local ordinary that the process begins. Then the local ordinary will constitute a tribunal to look into the events and to listen to the witnesses. If the local ordinary is satisfied that yes, this person lived a virtuous life, then the local ordinary said the request to Rome so that the process can start. Then the process starts, it is called a request for canonization. That is step one. That concluded, the person becomes venerable. Then after that, if a miracle happens that is certified that it happened, then the next step is called determination. In this step, one now becomes the servant of God. Now, prayers continues, and as they continue, if another miracle happens, this now kicks off the third step. And the miracle that kicked off this happened in Mozambique. It's called the miracle of multiplication of waters. Then the course is also now started, and Pope gives the verdict because he is the one who gives permission. And then this, the journey, if you ask me, the journey now to where we are started then, and now this becomes the third step of one becoming a saint.
And I just want to get in there. You use a very good word, journey. Because Sister Irene died 85 years ago. And many would wonder, like myself, is it that this process takes so long, or because for somebody to 85 years later after their death now being recognized for, just thinking as a layman, is it that the process takes so long? And we know in some instances like that of Pope John Paul II, the process of his canonization took a shorter time. So what are the differences in terms of the length of this process?
The difference, okay, one, let me say that there is no defined time between stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. What determines the time is, one, the events that are being determined, and also the witnesses that are there. Number two, there is also a lot of materials to be certified that they are authentic. So depending with individuals, because every person has his or her own uniqueness, every story is unique in its own way. There are those who may take shorter time, others may take even 300 years. So it is never definite.
Look into, the team that investigates their life and virtuosity. So I thank you so much, because that brings us to a little bit of understanding. And we'll be continue to talk to you throughout the event, because we need to demystify this whole ceremony. Asante sana. And I just want to bring in Father Donatus Madenget to explain to us just what kind of logistical preparations we have here on the grounds at Dedan Kimathi University. Father, you have been involved in the preparation of this big event. Tell us, what kind of arrangements have you made for the event tomorrow?
Yes, Sharon, I've been involved. Where I am, I'm a professor here at the university, and we have taken a tripartite approach to the entire preparation. One party is the Archdiocese of Nyeri, led by His Grace Archbishop of Nyeri, Cairo. He is the owner of the process, and we have been working together with the Central Committee. The other party is the national government, and we thank the national government because they declared the event a national event and a function, and we have seen the fruits of that nationality.
So Father, just to cut you short, because we take cognizance of all those people who've made this possible, we just want, for the sake of the people who are coming here tomorrow, what are the arrangements in terms of seating space, maybe also parking availability and convenience?
We are expecting about 1,000 sisters, and we have their places set around here. More than 700 priests, we have their own places here. Also the dignitaries who are coming from the national government and others, they have their own places here. These places are ready. Then we are also encouraging the Christians to come, and everybody of goodwill, because we have ample space. We have more than 100 acres and a lot of chairs here, so they are in place. We have also a food court for anybody who may have some special needs to come, but we are encouraging them not to come and eat during the time of the Mass. So we have no places. And also we have ushers, and many of them, more than 100, are students of Kimathi, so that they know the process.
Just to ease the whole process of seating and everything.
And we thank them for that volunteership. We are also, at the very end, prepared a plaque, which will be unveiled and blessed by His Eminence, Polycarp Pengo, the one who is sent by the Pope as a delegate, and at the distinguished presence of the head of state.
Thank you so much.
But I would like to take place, please, to thank you, Caro, and the whole team, and because their work they have done, KTN, is phenomenal. They have been with us. We have walked this along this journey. I can tell all of you, the KTN and also the standard paper, may God's blessing be with you. And His generosity be with you all the time. Thank you very much, and welcome.
So there, Father Donatus, just letting us know that for the faithful and the witnesses coming here tomorrow, all is arranged. There will be ample seating space, ample parking space, ample security. So all is set, and we shall be here as a team from KTN to bring you these events as they happen tomorrow. Now I take you back to Betty in the studio.
Well, thank you very much, Sharon Momanyi. You've just been walking us through the events that are going to take place tomorrow. A selfless lady and her beatification posthumously.
Beautiful, beautiful event that's going to be taking place tomorrow. Thank you very much for the blessings there by the leader there, speaking and giving blessings to KTN and Standard.
Amen.
And just as what the leader there has mentioned, the Standard Group and of course KTN have been on the forefront just to inform you on what's going to be be happening tomorrow. The beatification of Sister Irene Stefani, also known as Nyeri, fondly to the people in Nyeri County. And tomorrow in the Standard newspaper, we have a special pullout, as you can see, a special pullout of her journey to sainthood, the beatification process, of course, giving us details of who this person was. Why is it such a big deal, especially for people in Nyeri County? Why do they fondly remember her? What is it that she did? Pictures of her childhood, her family, and so much more information on this particular beautiful, beautiful occasion that's going to, of course, set Kenya apart tomorrow. Very many dignitaries, as you heard there, will be visiting and, of course, are already in Nyeri County, just, you know, waiting for this particular event. Beautiful event.
Didn't I hear the president is also going to grace the occasion?
Okay. He is. He definitely will be there in Nyeri County. And, of course, we'll have all the details tomorrow on KTN.